Dum 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 dum. Hello everyone. I haven't been working on this thing for like 3 weeks. This stupid thing with first person camera, and you can climb down this thing. Basically these last few weeks I've been writing on my Odin book. And oh, hold on, I hear myself. Close all this stuff. Haha. So, yeah, haven't been working on this stuff at all. That's fine. I was thinking maybe I can do some kind of level editor stuff. Oh, well, also I'm interested in this bug. This we saw at the end of the last stream. I was like, why does the squirrel disappear here? But the moment I walk a bit, it will pop back. It's very strange. Why is that, Mr. Squirrel? Why is that? Maybe we can quickly look at that. Maybe it's just something with the... Is it just with how it is sort of positioned? Let's see. If we remove all this crap. So this is, you see, when I walk around these ones sort of follow me with their face. And that stuff is sort of kind of this code here. So maybe it's just something with this. Matrix, translate, rotate. So maybe if we remove some of this stuff, maybe it just fixes itself. Okay, remove that one. What happens now? So now they won't... Oh, you're just complaining about everything is unused. You don't use anything. You don't use this one either. And you don't use this one. Okay. So now they're constantly looking the other way. Wait, let me try something here. Let me just, if I do this, I flip them. So I'm just trying to see if I can. So if I flip the sign of this, then I will never see them, because they will always be turned sort of the wrong way. Is it something weird with how I calculate this thing? No. It's not that. La 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 la. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Anyways, that's not what I wanted to do today. I was just thinking if it was an easy fix, why it disappears when I'm down here. I guess it has nothing to do with climbing up this thing, really. Maybe if I... where's the jump? Dot space. Let's just make me jump very high. Make me jump. Wow. Smack. Okay, maybe it is related to the climbing somehow. Maybe XZ, whatever it was called, this stuff. Is it somehow related to the climbing? Why would the climbing do that? Well, anyways, let's not dwell on that too much now. Instead, let's do what I was gonna do today, which is I wanted to do some kind of level editor stuff. Is this chat even working? Sometimes the chat is broken. Can someone write something in the chat if it's working? Because I had a whole stream once where the chat was broken and I didn't notice. It is working. Thank you. Thank you, Gist. Okay. Let's ignore that buggy squirrel for now. What we'll do instead is focus on the editor stuff. So I was thinking some kind of fly camera where I can fly around and I can maybe move these boxes and create new ones. Yeah, and eventually also I want to do something with the atlas and being able to sort of texture these boxes sort of in a nice way. That's it. I'm just gonna hack together some funny editor stuff. I have no idea. So let's add in editing bool here. So we have sort of an editing mode we can jump into. And then here we have the update procedure for the game, and then we draw. And ideally I would like have a separate editor world, but I realized that usually it's easier to begin with mutating the existing game world and then splitting them apart later. Is key pressed .f2. So then we just so we just enable and disable the level editor mode with that button press. And then we just, let me see here, what does update actually do? Lots of things. Let's be a good citizen and create a new separate editor.odin file. Package game. And in here we'll create an editor update proc, maybe like that. So what we can do then is go to update. No, game update. It's a bit confusing. Game update is the entry point for the hot reloading code, and then it calls update because it's part of the game DLL. So that's why it's called like that. So we can maybe, what does frame state contain? Crosshair color. So this is sort of the update, have some frames parameters that it can feed back and then feed into draw. So we maybe can do if gmem.editing here. So let's just do like this maybe. Then we can say editor update, and then we can do draw with no frame state, maybe. So now if I press F2, the whole game sort of stops because it stops updating. It's just constantly drawing then. I might have to make a separate draw proc for the editor later, but never mind that right now. Game memory. Okay, so here is one thing maybe we can look at. The camera is this one, right? And the draw procedure, let's see here, cam. Yeah, it gets the game camera here. How about is these shiny frame parameters here instead had a camera in them? Because then where is some stuff here maybe? Yeah, let's just set the camera at the bottom here. fs.camera equals game camera. That maybe I don't even need the game camera proc anymore because I don't need to fetch it separately. But, and then we can go back to game update. So then perhaps I've never done a 3D editor. I mean, I've done a 3D editor before, but I've never done one in this way where I have sort of the editor built into the game, because that's what I've done for 2D games. We'll see how it works out. So I've seen people like John Blow do that. He had like, I think he has the Witness editor was like inside the game. You press a key and then you can edit. Like, for some reason I kind of like that workflow. I mean, of course, if you use a big game editor inside a game engine, then you have like maybe a game view and an editor view and like a level editor view and a play view and but here it's more like it just changed the whole context of the game. Okay, this should still work, I guess. Yeah. Wait, it didn't actually do anything because this one didn't return anything. I think it will when I switch to the editor. Interesting. Oh yeah, I know why. So go back to draw. And then we have this game camera here. So here we just say frame, what is called? Frame state dot camera. So now, of course, when I'm playing, it looks like this. But if I press F2 to go into the edit mode, it gets black because the camera is just all zeros. Right. Right. So then we just need to somehow set up this camera inside the editor. So maybe we do something like this. So this stuff we can't use because I don't want to change the player's position and blah 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 blah. Rather, I want to do something like this. Import core math/Lina. I'm just trying to fix this compilation error. So maybe we need some kind of editor state. That's what I'm thinking. Because in the game we sort of have the player sort of has like a yaw and a pitch and a position and some stuff. Let me camera pos, camera yaw, camera pitch, like that. Position is then exactly, pressing the button makes the cat travel into the void. So I was thinking maybe we can do like this, camera pause, very nice. And then we need a rotation matrix. This thing, yeah. This thing should actually just take a pitch, F32, yaw, F32, pitch. Shouldn't act on globals like that. Yaw. And then of course we need to do gmem.player.pitch, gmem.player.yaw, like that. And then we can here just say es.yaw, no, es.pitch, es.yaw, and we have all that stuff. Fantastic. So recompile a bit, fix some errors. Camera pitch, camera yaw. So now if I, yeah, that seems to work. So now if I press F2, I end up inside here because I'm just at the origin. So let's make a little fly around camera. So let's take this stuff here. Right. Let's just steal this code. Throw it in here. So we move like this, and then so the movement here is just in the X and the Z direction, and then we change es.yaw like that, and es.camera pitch like that. What the hell is the T? Oh yeah, it's a global. And then we set es dot. This might not be necessary. This is more of a first person running around the world kind of thing. We'll see. And then there's some more crap here. Do you hear a... Hello, Alonso. Do you hear a bird in the background? I don't think there's a bird. Maybe it's my squeaky chair or something. The window is closed. Right. So let's fix these things. And then well, actually there is some bird, I realize now. Far away. Right. So what does this thing do then? This updates the velocity. Then it moves the player by the velocity. Okay. So what I want to do then is, no, that was the wrong one. Let's try this, shall we? Right. So we take the position, es.camera. So I'm just trying to do like a fly camera now. And then we multiply. So this is the but there is some bird. Birdie bird. So then we do like this. And hopefully this makes it possible to fly around a bit. Of course. Get XYZ out of that. Wow. Be fast. There are of course a few. It should be times a delta time there maybe. Then it became excruciatingly slow instead. Still very slow. How is that possible? Okay, it was just confused. Okay, so this is the game, this is the editor. Cool. I can't currently. Right. Here I shouldn't here I should use the camera rotation matrix, the full one, not just because when you're playing a game like this, even if you look up, it still walks straight forward. That's because it only looks at sort of the yaw, which is this part. It only looks at that part for knowing which direction to sort of rotate the movement vector that I calculate up here. But in the editor you want sort of a fly around camera. So you want to take this, I think you just do that, and then you just put that both there, and you take something like that. Yeah, here you go, fly around. Ooh. Now in many game editors this thing only happens when you hold the right mouse button, really. I don't think this is important in the case of the... Remove that. That was just for gameplay reasons. Update camera. What's it called? Fly camera? No, what's it called? It's called a free camera. So we take these guys and put them in here. And then we just say if rl.is key down. No, if rl.is mouse button down dot right. Then we do editor update free camera like that. So that will make it so that we can. That will make it so that things don't compile. Yeah. Here you go. Suddenly it's like math declared but not used. Oh, it's because I removed some lines that used it. Ugh. Okay, so now if I hold the right mouse button, I fly around. And if I don't, then I don't fly around. Disable cursor. This stuff I must have, I think. Can I just call these each frame? Like this. Or is that boohoo to do that? Oh, it seems a bit stuck. Maybe enable cursor resets the position of it. Yep, it did. So how do I guess I do this. If rl.isKey is mouse button press dot right, then I do rl.disable cursor. If rl is mouse button release dot right, then I do rl.enable cursor. And then as long as it's held, this funny stuff here happens. Ah, removed the wrong line. There you go. So now I can hold down the right mouse button and we release it. So then I can sort of, I like that they put just pause on the screen when you're flying around in the editor camera. That's not supposed to be, but so you can sort of be over here, pop back, play, and you can look around again, pop back, play, stuff. And I think it is sort of, you see the characters are turning and they have turned here as well. So if I run over here, then they've turned the other way. Okay, that's good. I'm also gonna run into problems soon when I need to interact with the world. So in here I can put the code for like editor, update, default, or whatever. This is sort of, when you have a cursor and you click things and things happen. Okay, so one thing I want to do now is that I want to do editor set state. I want to do this. This thing should be a pointer. This is because hot reload keeps messing up my, as you keep, every time you hot reload, the global state is reset, right? So if you want any kind of global state, you should keep it you keep it in a pointer like this, and then you go to game memory and go to the bottom here and you say editor state is an editor state, and then in game hot reloaded you say editor set state, and then you pass it the pointer to editor state. And then after that I can be over here, or I can be over here, I can keep that, and I could in theory hot reload, and yeah, it's can't move anymore now. Now I can move again. So that's peculiar. Why is that? Because game hot reloaded is run on startup, so the state should be set up So that should be all fine. Mystery. Mystery game update. Why doesn't it update anymore? I can see the cursor disappearing. But I can't do anything anymore. Let me check some stuff. Movement. Import core FMT. So what? Okay. Well, that's all working nicely. So it's not that. Let me go here and just do like frame state camera. And now it's updating. And but if I hot reload, then it stops updating. Or rather, it has the same value all the time. How peculiar. Why is that? Let me check fmt.print.es. So we go back to here, game update. What's the pointer value of this? Printfln. Okay, it's that guy. Same one, but obviously there's something else is wrong because it works after I jump in and out of the editing mode, which the only thing that should do is hello Guilhem. Yeah, David there says maybe your camera is set in the same position every frame. Something is weird because because this thing, if I do this, no. If I do this thing, then that is actually not updating. So if I do this, then it starts updating. Okay, why are you not updating? What does camera rot matrix do, by the way? Just double checking here. That's the correct thing. Camera pitch. Because I think I checked that the movement does update. Yeah. The movement is updating. Then it multiplies the camera. It doesn't seem to... I think I know. I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong. I'm a stupid. Wrong. Wrong. You see this thing here? dt equals min blah 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 blah. Yeah? That happens in... that happens in update of the game. So my time was not being updated. This needs to happen out here. Here you go. This will 100% guaranteed work. It was just having an old delta time value from frames, you know, old times around. Eduardo is asking, what will the main mechanic? What will be the main mechanic in this game? What does it need the pawn to appear? Not sure about the pawns stuff, but I was thinking more like I was thinking. Oh, you mean maybe the pause? The pause I used that to be funny. I can climb and then you see the pause. You climb down. It's very important. But the main I was thinking something like some kind of first-person Metroidvania-ish thing, maybe, but more like talk to people, find items, and find new areas to go to. So sort of like a first-person Metroidvania-ish thing, but with funny characters or something. In with a very weird art style. Okay. So now we have that. Maybe we can split out the world drawing so we don't have the pause in the editor. It is funny, but you know. Because the hand stuff is drawn here, right? So let's maybe, we already have a draw world here, but that's what, draw world here is for drawing. First it draws, it's for the shadow casting. It draws first from the point of view of the cameras, you know, here, and then it draws from the point of view of the player or the camera you're using here. So I was thinking of splitting this up, so this stuff here that draws the sort of first person paw stuff is not visible when you are in the editor. The only problem here is this is already called draw world. What is this really? This is just draw stuff. Yeah, it's a bit confusing that game update is named game update because it uses hot reloading. So everything in all the Odin files in this folder here are compiled into a game DLL. And when it loads the game DLL, it looks for game update. But game update in turn calls normal update or editor update. Maybe I should have better names for this or something. But and by the way, this whole setup with the hot reloading is available as a little. You can find it on my GitHub. It's a sort of template for getting hot reloading to work quickly with Odinlang Raylib. Well, mostly with Odin. The Raylib stuff is just there as a nice example. Anyways, draw world. I just keep getting distracted. So I want to take this stuff here. What is world up used for? Nothing. So this is sort of like I'm gonna put this here and then I'm gonna go to draw world. I'm gonna look at this. This first draws all the boxes and then it's sort of like a draw world pass or something. Then we can call this one draw world. And then go down here and say draw world. That one's gonna need. Wait, what does this one need actually? Marius asks, did you try to compile to ARM? Nope. Yeah, I don't know. I think it probably says somewhere where on the website where the supported platforms are. But ARM should be supported. I mean, isn't the MacBooks, the fancy ones, essentially ARM? So, and it works on those. This stuff should not be in here. Should be like that. No, it's fine. Camera. Let's just do this. Yeah, I mean, David says, so Odin compiles a file DLL and then executable run the DLL. Yeah, kinda. I mean, I have a build hot reload.bat here or something. You see, this thing builds everything in this folder into game.dll. It outputs a DLL, and then it builds the stuff in the main hot reload folder into game.exe. And main hot reload.odin is a program of like 200 lines that fetches, that loads the game API from this DLL. So it's sort of, here you see some kind of stuff about game underscore something. It copies first DLL to a separate file, and then it loads it, and then it tries to match up the procedures inside a DLL with the things in this struct here. So game update will be this function pointer, game init will be this function pointer and stuff. And then in the main procedure, it sort of runs game init, and then it has a loop where it runs game update. But if the game DLL changes last write time, then it just reloads it, but keeps using the same memory. So you get some kind of hot reloading. I can here is the template that has all of that set up, which is the template I used to start this thing. So does this work now? Yeah, so I mean, it's hard to see what difference is, but the difference is that I have split out draw world to a separate procedure here. So I can go to draw, I can go to game update, and here we used to say draw world frame state.camera instead. And then F2 doesn't work anymore. What happened? How could that change anything? Oh, I know why. I know why, because I think, yeah, the end drawing ended up out here. Yeah, you can't just do that. Begin drawing must still be at the top of draw, like that. And if you wish to use draw world without the draw, then you need to do this, right? Now it will work. Yeah. So now I have the thing I did there was I split out the code for drawing stuff, so I have that separately. So now the game is like this. And then I can fly around like this. Right. Is it possible to... What are these boxes? A box has a position and a size. Okay. Where is the position? I'm gonna try to... I guess the position is in the middle. Can try this. 4b in number of boxes. rl.draw sphere at b dot cos. What's the second parameter? What radius? 0.1 rl.red. I guess they ended up inside because of... Wait, what kind of crap did I write? Can I like... I was just interested in where is the middle of the boxes, and I wanted to draw a sphere there. But how can I disable depth test? Okay, maybe I can just do like this. Okay. You have this. Oh, I don't even have RGL in here. Is that the problem? Oh, it's called RG. I gave it a short and sweet name, and then... Okay, maybe you can't do like that either. These are the spheres I wanted to look at. I just wanted to see where they are. I think they're inside the... Yeah, they are inside. So they're at the origin of the thing, which is maybe good. So never mind that little weird checking of me doing of things. Someone is laughing over there at my English. Min engelsk. Hello, Sebastian. Yes, curious to see how I approach the level editor stuff. Yeah, me too. Okay, let's see here. So, I am flying around. I have a cursor. I want to click one of the boxes, and then I want to move it. Let's see. Let's look in Raylib a bit. Get ray collision. Get ray collision sphere. Collision detection functions. I mean, there are many ways to do this properly. With level editors. For something basic, you can just do a ray cast from where you click on the screen to select something. Then you can record which one you have selected if you hit something. And then you can modify that unless you click something else. If you want to do something fancy, then you can, we did this at a previous job where we had sort of every pixel had sort of a ID written on them in a special sort of buffer somehow, and then it could do like a GPU picking, and that way it could pick through, it could pick straight through like semi-transparent stuff and stuff like that, you know. So it was pretty nice. Hello Melvin. I'm not using any game engine really, it's just Odin programming language and Raylib for rendering, so it's just a library for rendering and opening windows and stuff. So it's, you know, stuff like draw the world, do some instance rendering, blah blah blah, use some shaders, but it's all just a, there's no proper like game engine with a big editor and stuff. So I'm trying to make sort of a little editor thingy here now. So let's do that. Raycast. Bananas, I almost said. How do I get a get mouse ray? I want that. RL.get mouse position. And then it needs a camera, of course. Okay. Maybe we want an editor camera proc. 3D camera. Get in there. Do that. Camera, blah, blah, blah. Go back up here, get mouse array. Editor camera. So there we have a mouse ray, so we want to be able to click. So we do like if rl.is mouse button pressed .left. If rl.ray, and then we of course need to, for being gm.boxes. I know we're using the same memory as the main game right now, but an editor world I can do later. I just want to see, it's more important to get the sort of how to poke at things in the world first. That's the hard part. I can put in, swap out the data model under later. So what we do here is rl.ray collision box. So we have a ray, that's this one. And then we need to get a bounding box. I do that, I think, in the other file here. Bounding box. It does like this. Ah well, we can copy that for now. So a bounding box is a bounding box in Raylib is just a vector 3 that's a minimum and a vector 3 that's a maximum. So we just do like this. Like that. And this one, this is a quite nice thing you can do in Odin. You can, on an if statement, assign a variable, put a semicolon, and then do the check here. So you don't litter, instead of having to litter the scope outside here with, instead of having to litter the scope outside here, like this. You can do it like this, without having to have some kind of, you know, some languages have like a using statement and stuff. But here you just, on the if statement like this, you can declare a variable and then check something on it. So I check if the hit bool on the collision is true. Okay, so this means that we hit one of the boxes. I will break here and I will say es.selected object equals I, and then I will take the index of this one. Magnific. Selected object is an integer. Right. So now I would like some kind of selection highlight. No, it doesn't leak into the parent scope. This one is only available there and inside here. It call, like, I think this would be a, yeah, undeclared name call. This did not leak here. And you can also use it in else, you can also use it in the else and else if thing is here. You can also use call in this case. So you can only declare this, you can only create this variable here, but you can use it in all the else blocks. There's some kid going crazy outside. Yeah, it's pretty nice because also like in some other languages, what you would do is you would maybe do something like this just to not litter the scope. You know, maybe in some languages you would do like this instead. You know, you create an anonymous scope just to do some anti-pollution, but you don't need to do that. Okay, we want to draw a little selection outline on this thing we selected now. So what we will do is I need to further. I don't think that this draw yeah, so that leaks in C#, you say. Yeah, I've programmed some in Unity and seen all the funny ways which C# is just bad with leaky scopes and stuff. And I think one of the weirdest things with C# is that you can create local functions. So you can have a function within a function, right? So you can do some kind of nice, like, oh, I hide this function away in here. But many times when I write a big algorithm, I also need some sort of data structures. So I have some temporary data structures that are only used within the algorithm, but I need them to pass around data. But structs you cannot create, like you can't define a new struct type within a function. But you can put a new function within a function. So you can only do like, you can do your like local functions that are only needed within the bigger algorithm function, but you can't hide away sort of procedures in, you can't hide away structs in there. You still have to leak out those to some bigger scope. It's, at least it was in the C# version I used with Unity. It's a bit annoying. Okay, so I think I will need to do something here. Let's be a bit cheeky and do like this. Editor update will no longer return a frame state. I'll just do like this. We draw down here. Pass draw this camera. Yeah, in Odin you can just write hi is the struct like this inside a procedure. It's totally fine. So you can neatly tuck away things inside algorithms and stuff. So this should still work now. It does. So then I want to do rl.begin mode 3D again here. I'm just the reason I'm doing it like this is just because then I can do for b in gmem.boxes I what are, you can use record structs. What are record struct? This is some special kind of struct. So here I'm just gonna draw rl.draw cube wires, maybe. Yeah, let's try this. b.pos b.size rl.red. See if we can select stuff. Oh, you might not see it, but it's working. Is there a way to set the line width? I'm gonna go inside Raylib and look. Where's the line width? Set line width. Ah, you can set it with RLGL. Okay. Import RG, vendor, Raylib, RGL. Maybe now. No. Okay. Didn't work. I mean, I can draw it manually, but it feels like it should work. Or is it that I need to do it? It needs to be flushed first, which is, yes, that was the problem. Haha, look, I can select. Oh, so that works. That's fun. And then of course you have these weird problems. Like right now I can't click on this one because I hit the block behind it. But if I do this, I can hit it. But I will look into that later. Right now I just want to make it possible to select something and move it. So let's maybe draw a little gizmo here or something. Or is that what I want to do now? Should I? Yeah, I probably want a gizmo. Or is that maybe a huge time sink for the time being? But it's weird because if record struct or structs for holding data, it feels like the structs in, because in C# the class, if you do classes are heap allocated, but if you do a struct, like a new struct, it's it has more like acts like a value more than it's not passed by reference everywhere, from what I know. So it just feels like they're also made for holding data, in a sense. I don't know. So what do I do now? Do I just make like a gizmo? Yeah, I mean the problem with the selection is that it needs to pick the thing that is closest to the camera. I mean, I think I can fix it quite easily. I can just do this. Closest edx. It's an integer. Closest edx distance is maximum f32, and then we can, I think col has a distance, so we can say if col distance is less than closest idx closest idx closest idx distance, then in that case we do this, we remove this break, then we set closest idx to this and closest idx. We can also do like this maybe. And then we go to the bottom here. If closest idx is not -1, then es.selected object equals closest idx. That should do it. Yeah, now it works. All right. Okay, let's for funsies just make a little gizmo. Oh, there's also a weird thing right now that when you start up the game, if we reset it and we start it, then box at index 0 is selected by default. But let's not care about that right now. That's not important right now. So how do we paint these gizmos as I'm not even sure I want gizmos as, that's the thing. Maybe I want some more kind of a grid-based editing thing. I'm not really sure what I want. Because it would be nice to be able to sort of make sort of like a cave entrance thing somehow into something, and then the question is, how do you best do that? There are many interesting ways. You could do like a BSP. You can just have separate boxes and put them out. That is of course quite a lot of work. Yeah. Let's just do the gizmo for funsies here, since I don't know what I'm doing anyways. So, we need to get the box at the currently selected box. So we have that one. But the position of this is box.pos. And then here's the trouble. I sort of kind of wanna want to fuck it. Let's take this stuff and put it down here. So we can draw stuff. Draw there. I'm back to this, trying to draw a sphere. Yeah. So I kind of want to do all this. Disable the depth test, rd.enable depth test. Right. Here you go, that's more what I wanted. Well, not maybe for the outline, but at least I can see my plop inside there. I wonder what the best way to... to hell with it. Let's just put this here. Use two separate 3D rendering passes. Like that. There you go. So now I can see my plop in there, which is what I wanted. I wonder if I can do something like this, where can I take all this? No, of course I can't. I kind of wanna... I almost need some kind of debug drawing stuff to be able to say that, can you please draw a thing here later? But I want to do that in my editor code, so I can reason about these things from my editor code, like from the code up here. Because I want to, like, if you interacted with the gizmo, then I do not want you to click on things. Then I want you to click on the gizmo. Or something like that. Hello, level 0. this is run up here. That's before we start to do any kind of drawing. So yeah. Let's just do like this maybe. If we make a new ray, so we will ray cast against a little sphere and see if we can click it and sort of move it around while we hold the mouse button down on it. Okay, and we move this ray out here, and then we say ray collision sphere are right. So we need the currently selected object. Something like that. If rl.is mouse button pressed, yeah, and left, something like this, and we hit the little sphere, then, and this is, now we will need some kind of editor gizmo, some kind of gizmo state that is perhaps an enum. So we say none, and then we can call that one dragging, start like that. Gizmo state is a gizmo state like that. Then we go down here and we say, okay, left mouse button pressed. We hit the sphere at the middle. Then we say that es.gizmo state is dot dragging. So if we're not in any gizmo state, and we're down here, then we are allowed to click things. If we end up in a dragging state here, so we will do something like switch es.gizmo state case.none. That's this code. Case.dragging, that's this code. When it is dragging, then we check if mouse button released, the left mouse button, then we leave the gizmo state. But and here comes sort of hello level 0. Here comes sort of, let's just make it so that we move it along some axis. Maybe we can make it so that it moves in the let's make a plane. Can we check collision point? Is there no plane stuff at all? Right. I was thinking if I could just click this thing and then drag it around on a plane that sort of points upwards and goes through this point here. But how do you do that now again? I mean, I can figure out the math, it just would take a while. Because the projection here is just projecting something onto a normal. Like, what does this thing do? Yeah. Bah. Yeah, I've written this kind of gizmo code before, so it's not that hard. It's just it's not that hard. I mean, I know how to do it really. I've done like move, scale, rotation. But I'm not even sure I want a gizmo. I just wanted to play around a bit, but it got tricky quickly. Let's just drag it on one line for now, just to try something. Because that I can do. How do I project? Oh, that's not at all what I wanted. Was hacking. I was probably need to make my gizmo thing into a union so I can have different state for different gizmo states, but I'm just gonna try doing this rl.get mouse position. That's the screen position it has, and then I can then over here. So then I know how far away am I from where it started. And then save where the object was when I started, and then maybe I can do something funny like what's a funny screen to world maybe, And then I say, yeah, give me the editor camera. I don't know what I'm doing right now. That's fine. Oh, that's this. Well. Oh, right, you can't just do... There is no really, you know, get screen to world in 3D, because which point... I was thinking, oh, I just need to figure out this position. Yeah, that doesn't work. Bah. Shift doesn't work anymore. I'm just trying to do something funny here. I think this will work. Now we'll move it along the x-axis if I click and drag. Like this. There it goes. It just left. Well, that's because this is wrong. It should be gizmo start post.x plus oh wait, object start post, I mean. There you go, the most useless gizmo in the universe. Because it's just the length, which is just total crap. That does something. I'm kind of moving it. Wow, it moved there. Wow, it moved over here. Yeah. Well. I think I'm gonna have to think about this a bit more. Which kind of editor I want, because I can do the gizmos. I just felt unmotivated because I don't know exactly what kind of editing experience I want. Yeah, exactly, ship it. You can only move it in X direction and it doesn't even follow the cursor. So the way you want to do this kind of gizmos usually is you have a few different arrows and maybe some planes you can click on. And then you try to do the differences sort of in screen space. So the projection, like the perspective skew doesn't mess up your lines too much. And some stuff. And make sure that the object sort of sits under the cursor all the time. But yeah. Maybe have a nice day, Alonso. maybe what I want is some kind of grid-based thing where I can sort of paint out boxes and maybe select the faces of them and pull them in different directions. But I'm not sure. So what I want something sort of simple that is, because it would be cool if I could use some kind of nice instanced texture thingy where I just paint the sides using by repeating textures from my atlas. And I think I could feed the sort of size of an object and stuff using some kind of instancing parameters. I think that's possible. But yeah, who knows? This is the word, because 2D level editors, very easy, I think, to sort of wing. 3D level editors, I think they can become hard because in 2D you tend to sort of default to like, oh, using some tile-based solution or something. In 3D everyone is doing different things, so exactly what you want is a bit unclear. Okay, maybe before we finish for today, let's figure out, why does the squirrel disappear? Where is he now? Like, he's here. And go down. This is what I started with. Let's just finish that, since I'm not doing very good progress on my level editor anyways. Like, okay, one thing I'm gonna try. If I hot reload, does it pop up? No. Okay. Is it... So this is what I was looking at in the beginning of this stream. So if I do this instead, instead of this stuff, move forward, camdir. Right, if I just comment out this stuff and make it look straight down towards the, okay. Okay, so now these two are always looking straight down here. So let's climb up again. Is it still gone? No, it's not. So something is wrong in here. Let's print this. So now it's gone. One is 0 and one is -7. something, something, something. That's in radians. And if I move a tiny bit. Oh, okay, no, it's the one that's zeroed. Okay. So this one comes out at 0. Cam direction. Here it dots the cam dir with the forward vector. Is it? What the hell even is this code? Sign cam direction with I think it's some kind of singularity or whatever you call it, where I'm maybe perfectly on the line 0, 0. So this code is just a bit. It's probably a better way to do this. I think it's this part comes out as 0. Because what does this thing do? Okay. 32 int less than blah blah blah. Okay. I guess that works. So the sign comes out as 0 because the dot product between the camera direction, which is the vector from the position of the thing from my camera to the sort of squirrel that disappeared. That one was, that dot product came out as exactly 0, so then the sign was of course also 0. So just that. I don't think this code will stay around forever, so I don't need to fix it nicely. Okay. I will call it for today. I'm gonna try to, I mean, now I have at least some file for the editor set up where I can put some editor code, but I haven't really figured out how to edit the levels. Like, well, I think I need to, maybe I need to do some little concept art or something of how the word should look, or try to come up with some nice technical limitation that can tell me how to make the world. Because there's a couple of different, like I could have, like I can click and drag to sort of make boxes. I could have some kind of Minecraft-ish voxel blocks. I could have like a BSP thing where I can extrude surfaces and stuff. Well, BSP is more like you sort of create geometry in the editor using this binary spatial partitioning thingy. But that, you know, games like Doom and stuff, I think, use that. And also, no, does Doom use that? At least games like Half-Life used BSP, and it's quite interesting because you can sort of kind of model inside the editor and also texture inside editor, and and then more modern game engines came around and had everything as meshes instead. But for my purposes, maybe something like a BSP would be nice, but I'm not sure. Oh well, that's it for today. Sorry I didn't get further on the editor than my crappy selection, but it's quite fun. We shall see what happens. Tomorrow I'm gonna edit my new video I've been working on and hopefully upload it, so stay tuned for that. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye bye.